With Call of Duty's long lineup of maps, you would think that we'd have more spooky zombie maps. And I don't mean spooky as in, oh my goodness, there's a zombie coming to eat me. Oh no, I'm dying. Ah! I mean like, I want something like this. Verruckt was a map that knew what it wanted to be, and it fucking bolted. It looked at Usain Bolt as it was running, and it was like, nah, try being Barry Allen, and it zipped right by. Verruckt became what it was supposed to be, and then it exceeded what it was supposed to be. This map is genuinely horrifying to the modern day, to the current second of which I speak, which is 20. I can reclock 12:50:04. 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at that. I always found it rather interesting how the Call of Duty World at War maps use the smallest things to make their maps just a little bit more spooky, especially with Notch Their Untoden and Verruckt. These maps are legendary in their sense of horror. So today I just wanted to sit down and talk about the simple horrors of Verruckt. Hope you enjoy. Have you ever launched Verruckt and just listened? There's really no noise in the background. No music to distract you, really. Just the zombies' groans in the background and random screams and yells from the past residents, as we'll say, of this fair asylum we found ourselves in. You can hear fire burning away at the building. You can kind of hear parts of the building slowly collapsing in on itself. I mean, hell, you can look around and see plenty of evidence of just that. And as you're going through this entire asylum, and the times you do get moments to yourself in them, you just really take in the surroundings. You hear all the small sound effects, the wind, the dropping water, the sparking of the power, groans from a zombie across the map perhaps, windows being torn down, and then the visuals themselves. Once you run into the kitchen, not only is the kitchen freshly used from the looks of it, it feels like, and if it isn't, well, that's just a lot of knives. That's way too many knives. I don't think anybody needs that many knives. Now, if you happen to take a moment of being stunned at the absolute murder scene on the ground and happen to stare up at the wall, we have a bunch of schizophrenic crazed writing over here. Isn't that fun? Crazy people are hilarious. Now, if you get really deep into all this writing, no joke, it's very like, I guess it covers a lot of what's going on in the zombies. You know, like zombies have nerve systems, the world's ending, fucking Richthofen's name is Teddy, or nickname. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on with these writings. I guess some guy that was really good at like shape writing, cryptography. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, apparently someone that's really good at that over on Reddit like deciphered them a few years ago. But it's very interesting to see that one of these schizophrenic freaks, I call them freaks. That is so rude. One of these people ended up writing down all this almost seer-like knowledge of the fucking zombies storyline. So that's rather interesting. That's just the kitchen. Something that always struck me as strange about Verruckt, well, really just all zombie maps in general, I suppose, but Verruckt specifically, because I'm talking about it right now, is that the power is on when you get there. Not on, obviously the switch is off, but the generator's already flicking. There's electricity being generated. It just needs the switch flicked. Which makes me think that this stuff was being maintained, but the building's falling apart. So I'm just imagining, like, as they were maintaining the electric grid, they're like, Jimmy, repair that electric grid now before we go dark. And it's like, but boss, like, half the building's, like, wall fell off. Our shower doesn't turn off any. The power, Jimmy, the power! That's what happened. Another nice gritty reminder that you are not in a fun place, let me remind you, you are not in a fun place, is the fact that one of the spawn rooms comes with morgues. Isn't that fun? And they're not just any ordinary morgues. If you walk up and interact with them, you can hear someone screaming, almost like they're locked in, even though they're all open. And yet in the other spawn room, we have a nice little dentist chair. Get your teeth nice and checked up by the zombie dentist. Maybe you get your jaw ripped off. You know, zombie dentist problems. This right here is actually yet another Easter egg that you can interact with. If you interact with the dentist chair, you hear even more screaming. There's a lot of screaming now that I think about it. No wonder why this map's so dark. Taking a quick moment away from the architecture and sounds of the map, let's talk about the zombies and the way that the zombies interact with the environment. They are fast. Not just fast. See, a lot of people were complaining, oh, Notch Their Untoden's too slow. So the Call of Duty development team obviously were like, oh, too slow, huh? Too slow, you little shit. And then they put Verruckt sprinters in. Now they can sprint across the map in half the time it takes you to find a perk. Isn't that fun? I swear, you could be sitting somewhere, you could be on the complete opposite side of the map, and one of these guys will spawn on the other side of the map, and they will literally beat you faster than goddamn player sprint, or like slide sprint canceling with stamina up. It's horrifying how fast these guys. I don't feel like Black Ops 3 really carried over the really fast Verruckt sprinters either, but I really can't tell. Have you guys ever realized how many poor mannequins have been stabbed up or hung on this map? The mannequins are just getting absolutely abused on this map, and that is just highly unfortunate for the mannequins. I think we need some mannequin representation around here, maybe a union. I realized I forgot to talk about one of my favorite parts of Verruckt, the shower. The little shower in the room before, what do you call it? The hallway before power. And this shower is really interesting. It's kind of unnerving to look at. In a way, staring at the shower kind of reminds me of that fear you have when you're washing your hair out of soap and you got your eyes closed and you're like, dude, I want to open my eyes so I can look behind me and make sure I'm not about to be murdered by some psycho killer. I don't want to be turned into pretzels, please. Everyone's afraid of being turned into pretzels, right? That's a normal fear, right? But yeah, past that very lizard brainy fear feeling I get when staring at it, there really isn't too much more to add to it other than they totally mucked it up in Black Ops 3 and turned it into this like blood fountain. And it's kind of, I mean, it's goofy, it's very goofy and silly, but I don't know, it doesn't hit the same. It's just like, oh, blood, zombies, of course, scary. It's like that. Yeah, I guess. Moving on to our final room of the day, my favorite room personally is what I like to call the water room, or the I'm going to fucking die room, because there's no other doors open anymore and I've gone in a circle. I would like to welcome you to the water room of torture, horror, and despair. For here, all soldiers come and gather to hide against this wall and pray to any god they have to not die until round 20. I really, really hope you didn't open the spawn door. I also hope you spawned on the other side of the map, because this is probably the only decent place to camp unless you're a fucking masochist and want to camp in the little bar tripod room, which, I mean, I have, and it's kind of fun, but like in the like I'm about to die and I'm very engaged fun way, not in I'm actually having fun, more like I'm just pissing my pants in sheer terror fun, you know, that kind of fun, the best kind of fun, but worse also. What I really like about this room is that when the waves, in between waves, everything slows down. You get a second to hear the droplets hitting the floor, and the echoes, the sound that it makes throughout the room reverberates all around the walls. I know it's not real, but damn does it sound like it. And then you have, out of nowhere, this sudden banging and screaming against these metal boarded up doors off to the right. And you wonder, huh, what's that? And as you get up a little too close to the door, boom, suddenly the wall breaks open and you got a horde of zombies coming through the wall next to the door. Isn't that fun? You just got tricked, absolutely savagely pranked by Treyarch themselves. Get wrecked, nerd. I find it nuts that Treyarch was able to create such a terrifying atmosphere, map, whatnot, off of something they already created before. They just rehashed the materials that they used for, well, like, I guess half, like the base map model. Obviously, they reused from, you know, the multiplayer map. They did the same thing with Notch. And, you know, they probably reused a lot of other assets too. But I suppose that gave them time to focus more so on the design that they were going for the map and the atmosphere in general. And that allowed them to make something absolutely splendid, a real horrific experience as you play through Verruckt, especially like on your first time playing through Verruckt. I mean, it's been how many years that this shit's been out, and it still kind of gets on my nerves. Like it's just very persistent. It doesn't let you relax. Between the zombies constantly rushing you and barely surviving between waves, and then the nonstop horrors of the location that you actually are in, sinking in between the waves, there's never a moment to relax, only on edge all the time. And I think that does wonders for the way the map's designed. You're constantly running from like these fucking steroid-ridden zombies running at like 90 miles an hour. You're running in circles around the building, not really paying attention to anything other than the layout, so you know not to run into a wall. And then everything stops, and suddenly you have all these horrific sounds and of the past coming back to you. Not your pass, but the building's pass. And really, I don't know. There's just, it's so simple in design yet so freaking effective. And honestly, I really think that's the absolute beauty of Verruckt, is that they took something so simple like what Notch was built on, and honestly, like, tripled its potential with this one map, like, legitimately. So yeah, Verruckt is just a simply spooky map. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they had to design whole new features for it other than make the zombie faster, and well, they did design new features. I didn't even get into the perks because that's not really what I wanted to talk about specifically with Verruckt, but yeah, no, they added a whole bunch of new gameplay features as well. I say whole bunch, but I mean, they added power and a moving mystery box and perks. I guess that's a fair bit of things to add, though. So yeah, no, I mean, it was a simply spooky and progressive map, and that was great. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you liked the video, leave a like, and yeah, leave a comment. Tell me, what's so spooky about Verruckt to you? Honestly, I think there's millions of different things that anybody can come up with to say that this map's spooky. There's just so many little details that are actually a little bit frightening in some sense or another. As I was making this video too, I also picked up a lot of this out of bounds footage. I tried to do this for Black Ops 3 as well, but for some reason there's a stupid fucking child's laugh every time you go out of the map. Like, you no clip out of the map in Black Ops 3, so I only have the World at War because it was reasonable about its no clipping rules. Yeah, so I figured, you know, I'd show off like a minute of, you know, the more interesting things I found while I was running around out there. No commentary, because this is already getting long and I still need to edit it. But yeah, no, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.